Game of Thrones. Let's talk about it. I'll first say that though the ending was rushed and definitely didn't feel earned at certain points, it is far from the worst ending of a TV show I've ever seen. That depressing crown belongs to Dexter. Second attempt at finishing the show. It's awful. So the point where I see that they could have done a much different direction was when the Night King uses the dragon that he brought back to life and destroys one part of the wall. What should have happened at that point is after the undead started kind of flushing through, they should have been sent off in factions. The Night King should have sent the Night Walkers each to lead their own grouping of undead. It should have been a persistent threat throughout the last 2 seasons. It should not have ended. The battle should not have ended in Winterfell. That should have been the starting battle. Much like Lord of the Rings with the... You get quite a few battles, not just one battle, and it takes them all out. I really think it should have ended with the battle coming to King's Landing. What bothers me a great deal is that outside of Winterfell and the Wildlings, nobody even knows that the undead army even existed. I would have much rather seen them spread all the way to King's Landing and all the characters left having to react to that. Now, if you wanted to go the route of you wanted Daenerys to actually be a good queen, her saving King's Landing from the Night King definitely would have worked. Now, on the flip side, if you wanted to have Daenerys be the Mad Queen, which was a really cool idea in theory, because there was plenty of history from the previous seasons to show that she definitely had it in her. It should have been something that was slowly kind of built, and you saw that power was continuing to get to her. I was talking to my coworker who was the one who recommended that I watch it, and he said the main problems he had was how Cersei and Jaime died. He didn't like how Jaime I told him it was like a dog returning to its vomit. Jaime had grown a lot in those seasons, and then he just kind of undid all of that growth. I did think it was funny that Bran became king, and I feel there's more things he could have done to be a more likable character. As soon as someone suggested on a Reddit page that Sir Davos should have been king, it totally ruined it for me. I was like, he absolutely should have been king that they chose, because he had been through many battles, he had been with a couple kings, and he was just a good person. Bran's kind of like Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, like having him be president or something. It's just, I don't know how much good he'll actually do as the king. I did like, though, that in a lot of ways Tyrion is pretty much the king, because Bran's gonna let him run the show for the most part. But I didn't hate it. After the fact, I did a search on George R.R. Martin, and exactly what I had predicted is true. He does not plan out his characters. He actually refers to them as seeds that he throws in the garden, and he lets them grow. So he didn't really have an idea where to go with all of his characters, how to end them. The showrunners had a heck of a task on their hands. A joke that I want to point out at the very beginning is like, did Pangea reverse in the last 2 seasons? These places are hundreds of miles from each other, and in the show they're getting there in 5 minutes. And I know that it's just time jumps, but it doesn't do a good job of showing you that time has passed. I also feel like a way you could have shown time passing was if Cersei's hair had started to get longer throughout the last couple seasons. It's a way to show months passing. There's things they could have done continuity-wise, and just to kind of put you back in the kind of the world of it, because lots of plot holes, lots of just cutting corners to make things work, whereas the seasons before definitely were much more meticulous. It still was a good journey. It's still one I'm happy I went on. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the worst ending I've ever seen, but it definitely got my gears churning as to what could have been a lot better ending.